Detective Comics 996, written by Peter Tomasi, art by Doug Mahnke. Last issue we had the death of Leslie Tompkins, and it ended with Batman heading to Arkham Asylum to rough up some of the inmates and get some information on who is trying to attack him. So when this issue picks up, we have Batman, and he's in Arkham Asylum, and he's just finished roughing up various criminals, and we see them all beat up in their cell, but Batman did not get the information he needed. So he heads back to the Batcave, he's talking to Damian, and they're discussing who is coming at Batman right now, who would kill Leslie Tompkins. Initially they're saying that maybe Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul are behind it, but Batman says, nah, that feels too roundabout. They come right at us. They wouldn't just attack us through Leslie Tompkins. So then they say that maybe it is this guy, Henri Ducard, and he might be the one behind it because it's someone that would know Batman's identity and would want to be attacking him. And Batman kind of agrees that maybe it's worth talking to this Henri Ducard. So he heads over to Paris to question him. Now, for those of you who don't know who Henri Ducard is, in Batman's history, before he actually became Batman, when he was just Bruce Wayne and he was young and he was training, one of the places he went to was to Paris, and he trained with Henri Ducard, and Henry is one of the main people that kind of taught Bruce Wayne a lot of fighting techniques and things back in the day when he was, training to become Batman. So Batman heads over to Paris. He's trying to find Henry. Eventually he does, and they sort of have a little bit of an argument, and then they start going into this exposition dump of this previous storyline, and Batman says, let's get this straight, Ducard. You sent your son to kill me. He failed. I threw him back in your face alive. And then probably to prove to you what a mean bastard he was, he decided to try again and take my son. Unfortunately, against my wishes, Damian took his life. And in the editor's note, it says this is from the storyline Batman and Robin, Bad Blood. I gotta be honest, I've probably read this story because I've read most of Peter Tomasi's stuff. But I don't know the storyline, I don't remember. It didn't make an impact on me. And yeah, so I don't really care about this whole convoluted backstory with Henri Ducard. A little bit confusing, but nevertheless, whatever. Basically all you need to know is that they're a little bit pissed off at each other. I mean, I guess Damian killed this guy's son or something. So anyway, Henri Ducard and Batman are talking for a bit, and Henry's basically saying, look, dude, I didn't kill Leslie Tompkins, I'm not trying to attack you. He says, does this ancient catacomb appear to be a base of operations to you? Do these cans of spam signify that my sneak attack on all you hold dear has begun? I mean, that's a very good argument and a defense of why he's not attacking Batman. So then all of a sudden, there's this weird creature, it's sort of like Clayface or something, and it's a mixture of all of these villains combined in this monster creature. So we have like Penguin, Joker, Killer Croc, a whole bunch of other ones, and they start attacking Batman and Henri Ducard. Henri Ducard is firing bullets into this thing. Batman's punching it. This weird beast continues to attack them. Batman has this one sword at one point, and he's like slicing at this thing. Henri Ducard continues to fire at it. There's big explosions. Batman eventually like throws this grenade, or maybe it's Henry, I don't remember. Throw this grenade at this beast. And also this beast appears to at one point suck in Henri Ducard into itself. And when this explosion goes up, I'm thinking maybe Henri Ducard is actually dead now, and he's been killed in this. So finally, after this battle scene has ended, Batman suddenly fits it all together, and he figures it out that whoever is attacking him, it's people in my life who made me Batman, and they are being unmade. So it's somebody involving that. So because of this revelation, he decides that he needs to go to the Paekutu Sand Mountains in North Korea and visit this like ninja guy that lives up there. And once again, if you go back to those early storylines where Batman is training to become Batman, and you can see this in the Batman Begins movie, where he had to climb this mountain and bring this flower and present it to this like ninja guy up there, and then that ninja guy would train him. So that's where Batman's going right now. When he arrives at the top of this mountain, It appears that the temple's ninjutsu students were brutally murdered, evidence of a last stand against something. But then all of a sudden, Batman is confronted by this one ninja, and he says, "You dare bring ruin to the temple of Kurigi? What was once a house of learning is now a house of death." And they start battling. Batman's like, "I need to see Master Sensei Kurigi," but this guy who's a student won't allow Batman, and Batman's like, "Bring it." So they fight. This guy has an axe and a sword. Batman's is using his fist. Batman manages to beat this student, and then all of a sudden the sensei guy shows up, and they sort of make peace, and Batman's talking to this sensei, and they sort of come to terms, and they mend their problems. But there's some sort of issue on this mountain. Like, there are a lot of people were being attacked. Maybe this is all tied into what's been happening with Leslie Tompkins and Henri Ducard. So Batman's not really going to get his answers here. He scales back down the mountain. Then we jump over to New Mexico, and for some reason we see Batman is talking to this guy, Thaddeus Brown, the initial Mr. Miracle, and they are talking, and that is sort of how this issue ends. So this was a pretty interesting issue. I don't know why Batman is talking to this Mr. Miracle guy. Like, I don't remember him from Batman's past, but maybe there's some storyline where they meet, or he's important or something. Weird, but interesting, I guess. I guess Henri Ducard's maybe dead, so that was an interesting development, although maybe he's not. I don't know. And yeah, this was a pretty interesting issue. I thought the art was pretty cool. This story seems to be going to a pretty surprising place, like pretty high stakes for a detective comics book, which is usually more standalone tales. Like, this story seems like it's going to be pretty ambitious and pretty interesting. I think it was maybe a little bit complicated if you're a new reader. They're throwing a lot of Batman's history at you, and you might not be able to follow as well as if it was a more simple story. But I mean, this is pretty good, interesting stuff. I'm going to give this issue a 7.5 out of 10.